The Eurozone should learn from the United States if it wants to compete more efficiently for global investment, said the managing director of the International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva, on Friday. She urged Europeans to develop a culture of confidence rather than modesty.
If something is done really fantastically well, my parent would say, not too bad. That was the highest praise. And in the US, you just move your legs and you're fantastic. You blink and you're great.
Georgieva said one area for improvement in the EU is progress on a unified market. Country-specific laws are a hindrance to cross-border investment, forcing companies to be more reliant on banks rather than private investors for loans. The IMF's most recent economic outlook projected growth for 2025 at 2.7% in the US and 1% in the Eurozone.
Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban has raised fears of a potential veto from Hungary as the EU prepares to renew sanctions on Moscow in the coming week. Speaking on state radio, Orban said Ukraine's decision to stop the transit of Russian gas into Central Europe has forced Hungary to turn to other routes, raising energy prices. He wants the EU to intervene, claiming EU sanctions against Russia for its war in Ukraine had cost Hungary 19 billion euros.
Azt kérjük, hogy mondassák ki az ukránokkal, hogy vissza fogják állítani a gázútvonalat. Tehát most lezárták, azt tessék kinyitni újra. Ez nem Ukrajna kérdése, ez Európa kérdése, meg Közép-Európa kérdése. És ha az ukránok segítséget akarnak, például, hogy szankcionáljuk az oroszokat, akkor tessék újra kinyitni a gázútvonalat, és tessék megengedni, hogy a közép-európai országok, köztük Magyarország behozhassa Ukrajnán keresztül a gázt, amire nekünk szükségünk van.
Orban has long been a vocal opponent of EU sanctions against Moscow, though he has ultimately always voted for them. But following the inauguration of US President Donald Trump last week, Orban has publicly demanded an end to sanctions, raising the possibility that he would veto the newest round, which would be decided by 31st of January.
The Azerbaijan Airlines flight that crashed near Aktau in December was downed by an air defense system which was brought from Syria to Russia. That is according to Russian sources familiar with the investigation. Local media reported that Russian investigators have identified both the individual who launched the missile and the officer in charge who gave the order. Sources additionally reported that electronic warfare systems were deployed against the aircraft as it was on approach to land in the Russian city of Grozny, which led to severe malfunctions in its control systems before the crash. Government sources told Euronews that the damaged aircraft was not allowed to land at any Russian airport despite the pilot's request for an emergency landing, and it was ordered to fly across the Caspian Sea towards Aktau in Kazakhstan. Baku refuses to allow the case to be hushed up and remains adamant in its demand for Russia to take accountability.